how to get involved. You know, you've heard of all these principles, you've seen all these amazing, particularly international things, some national, but these are events that are continuing month in, month out, year in, year out, over a long period of time. And particularly, I showed you this one before, but the idea of this multi-sectoral approach, there are different areas that we're working in with different groups of people, different associations. And a lot of that coincides with David's last presentation. In the UK, we have a structure of Universal Peace Federation. And could you stand up if you're a trustee? Actor, and we have David. Is this anyone else who's a trustee? So thank you for being a trustee of Universal Peace Federation. A very important responsibility. But, how about a patron? Do we have a... I know we have one patron here. I'm going to ask Ian to come up in a moment. But, we also have chairs of these associations. You saw the different groupings of this multi-sectoral approach. These are most of those sections. And David and Patricia are working with interreligious work, which you do amazingly. And a number of people who are not here, but Kostas Kapalis, and also there's Fungai Samashongo is working as co-chairs of our Business Foundation for Peace, the International Association for Peace and Economic Development. Mark Brown, who's not here, is working with these heads of state and so on. And Keith, who I believe is looking online, Keith Best is the chair of our Board of Trustees, and he's working with the Association of Parliamentarians for Peace. And Azwel Ashraf, or Dr. Azwel Ashraf, is working with Academicians for Peace. Sangeeta Shrestha is working with Arts and Culture for Peace. And Hira Kruya, originally from Albania and Greece. She's working with Media Association for Peace, and we've had some events with her recently about mental health and so on. We did the event on protection of religious minorities and media last year. So these are some of the roles, and we want to make each of these roles kind of stronger by having others support and work together as little committees on each of these areas, so that we have more events, more influential events. And particularly, we're going to focus on, how to recover the international rule of law. Because right now, our international affairs is looking pretty dire, shall we say. Sadly, like our two friends from Greenwich who are we're studying public health, and actually all our Millennium Development Goals and Sustainable Development Goals, they're threatened most of all by conflict. So no country that was in conflict fulfilled all their Millennium Development Goals. And these are the hopes for the world, these benchmarks. So we really need to find a way back to having a better system of international rule of law. Or else there's going to be no peace and development, because they come together. You can only develop certain areas through war. You need a substantial era of peace in order to really bring development for everybody, to leave no one behind, which is part of Father and Mother Moon's heart, is to reach out to everybody and to help all of them, everyone to benefit from what is and should be an amazing age of development. It should be an amazing age of peace and security, and an age where we can take care of health, education, and fulfill incredible goals at this time. So the goals of Sustainable Development Goals by 2030 were amazing benchmarks for lifting up the whole of the world out of poverty, which is being threatened by so many conflicts and wars at the moment. So we would like to really strengthen these particular associations, and particularly I'd like to have, or aiming to have, 5 conferences on how do we recover this international rule of law. It was never perfect, but it was workable in a sense. It's never been completely fair or completely correct, but it was what we could work with. And it was a lot better than how we're doing at the moment. So we would like to build up these associations by having people support them with different committees, etc. Then we can reach out to high-level people, etc. We will have the Young Achiever Awards. We have them each year, and I'd like to introduce Eva. I'd like to introduce Eva, but Eva's videoing this talk, so it's very difficult to look at. Eva, can we introduce you? Because Eva has been inheriting from Margaret and is taking over Margaret's role. And Margaret's done an amazing job. Everyone knows Margaret. But we're in the process of this inheriting and leading to a new age. But Eva will be heading up the Young Achievers as well as the women's area of our work. So if you have really great young people who could be the recipients of a Young Achiever Award, someone who has really done great humanitarian work, charitable work, work for the community, has done something way beyond them, gone beyond themselves in order to help charitable work, then please tell Eva.
Group of the Young Achievers? What age group?
18 to 30. So please talk to Eva. Thank you. Sorry, we will have a formal handover for Margaret, but not today, but it will be very soon. We have, of course, lots of international association or interreligious association for peace and development work. This is always, it's ongoing. An event coming up is Arts and Culture for Peace with Sangeeta, which is happening on the 31st. It's just coming up. So that's one way you can be involved, by attending our different events. There is International Women's Day on the 29th of this month, a week tomorrow, here. You can look at again online. If you don't have the details, then please ask us. This is what I was talking about when David was talking about the marriage blessing. On April 18th, we'll have the marriage blessing here. And usually we have at least three events. There's at least one in Birmingham. Maybe there's a lot more activity on this going on in Birmingham. But we at least have one here in central London and one in the River South community in Croydon, or Thornton Heath. Also, you can apply to become an ambassador for peace. This is another way you can get involved. And we'll be presenting an ambassador for peace in a few minutes. But more on that later. But if you are someone who really does live for peace, is active in their life and does a lot, then please apply to become an ambassador for peace. We have an amazing network of peacemakers all over the world. Who's an ambassador for peace here? It's great. Who's an ambassador for peace? All right. So it's wonderful. Thank you. And we had one lady from Ghana who just popped in earlier because she's an ambassador for peace in Ghana. And she came because she heard this event was on. So this is a network of ambassadors for peace. It's all over the world. And it allows us to coalesce around different issues. There are other things you can do to volunteer and as a volunteer to help with fundraising campaigns or with our work with the secretariat or different things as volunteers or interns. And we also have social media. So we've on a number of platforms, but our social media with Facebook and Instagram is there. And you can also get involved by just helping with association, volunteering, becoming an intern. Yes. And another point, of course, we always need funds to do our work. Any charity needs funds to do work. So we're doing a number of projects. We've helped the Nigeria Character Education Project that has been going on for a number of years. We've periodically helped them when they've asked for it. We're helping an inter-community event or inter-community activity in Manchester, which we call Peace Through Sport. Maybe I won't go into too many details, but in a sense, it's to bring different communities together. Normally, it's communities that can't be reached by interfaith or these activities because they're not religious, or a number of people who are at risk of inter-community tension or being radicalized or being either to the left or right or so on. So to avoid those issues, then having a sporting event is one way to go, to bring the parents, bring the different communities together to understand each other better. So we'd also always welcome if anyone would like to become a donor or monthly donor. And that's